I've had to be creative in the sense where every dollar I've put into a deal has needed to make me as much money as possible because I've wanted to grow extremely fast.
Maybe give us an example, Jeremy, on a couple deals, right, that you're doing, or maybe a creative way that you're doing, and then how you can help people who are maybe looking to get into the business.
Yeah, so I've had to be creative in a multitude of ways. One of them being when I started in short-term rentals, I was 23 years old. I did not have a lot of money. I did not have financing. I tried to get pre-approvals from banks, and in a way, they kind of laughed at me. Like I hadn't even had a credit card. I only got a credit card when I was 21, so I didn't have a long credit history. So I've had to be creative in the sense where I've had to, use multiple types of financing. So I'd have to do, DSCR commercial loans. I've had to leverage other people's financing and partnerships that way. I've had to be creative in the sense where every dollar I've put into a deal has needed to make me as much money as possible because I've wanted to grow extremely fast. And if I'm tying my capital up in a place that's not cash flowing, how am I going to reinvest? So I've had to be extremely diligent and also just execute incredibly well on every deal I've done. And I've also had to change geographies. I told you I started on a lake in North Carolina where in 2020, the numbers were really good. You could buy a property there. Our first houses we got for 400, 450K, 585K that could, make over $100,000, like, up to 120, 130K, which if you do that math ends up, cash flowing you 40, 50K a year, like pretty good amounts. But then the home price is on, there's no inventory on that lake today. Or those same houses we bought, maybe 4, 5, 600K are now $1 million, which is obviously great and, has put equity in our pocket, but I've needed cash flow to scale. So I had to change course. I invested in Florida. We bought 2 properties in Florida. Kind of the same thing happened there. Home prices got too high where the numbers started getting a lot tighter. I've invested in the Blue Ridge Smoky Mountains. In a way, same things kind of happened there. But I mean, I'm under contract on a house right now. So, and we bought one back in November. So like, I'm still finding properties. And it's more
about
about
that house right there. Like, I'm just curious, like, what are you seeing on that house? What did you like about it? Because, market deals in this marketplace are harder to find. So maybe give us the metrics there.
Yeah. So what I've honestly kind of done, like my strategy. So initially I started like lake houses, things that were naturally scarce, like a lake house, they're not building new lakes, like beach houses or houses near the beach in Florida. That's kind of like some natural scarcity there. And then mountain houses, you have a good mountain view, those aren't things that can be easily recreated. But now what I've kind of tried to do is like take those experiences you get in like that beach house in Florida and like bring it to like middle America, like bring it to places where like those experiences don't already exist. So the house I'm under contract in right now is in a mid-sized city. And like, I don't want to say the specific names of cities because it's like, that's not the point. Like it's not the point. It's a medium-sized city in North Carolina. I was also looking in other states too, in similar medium-sized cities, where this house, I'm going to have a house with a heated pool. I'm going to put in a putt-putt range. I'm going to have game rooms. Like I'm going to just take those like traditional vacation markets, like the things that people are doing out there, and I'm going to bring it where nobody else is doing that. And that's kind of my new strategy is like go places where there's less competition and where you can pull bits and pieces from like, the Scottsdale, Arizonas, the Kissimmee, Floridas, like the places where there's so much competition where people are going bonkers on the amenities and experiences they're providing. And I'm moving that to middle America.